Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Linguasouls. This speech is specially dedicated for the students of class 12th from CBSE or UP board, those who are about to appear for their board examinations. This short and simple speech is going to make you understand everything about entire Flamingo and Vistas. Friends, what has made CBSE or NCERT select these particular stories for your syllabus? There is a specific purpose behind it. Each chapter, it has got some core values that if you incorporate it in your life, you will definitely emerge out as a wonderful human being, whatever career you might adopt. But if you possess all these qualities, you will be a true human being and an asset for the society. So listen to every word spoken in earnest and score full marks in this literature section from Flamingo and Vistas. Friends, have you ever wondered why the first lesson is the last lesson? The first lesson, it serves as an eye-opener that will make a person realize his mistake. As the people of Elsish and Lauren, they realized their mistake. Basically, there were two. First, they procrastinated. Simply, they lingered on or put off learning till tomorrow or the next date. They dilly-dallied their work and they underestimated their own language and culture, which became the reason for their downfall. But Mr. Hamill was successful in opening their eyes and making them realize the essential of their own language and culture. Similarly, remember this thing in your life: learn as many languages and skills as possible, but not at the cost of your own language and culture. This is what NCERT wants us to understand by means of this chapter, The Last Lesson by Alfonso Dode. Now let us move to the second chapter, Lost Spring, the Stories of Stolen Childhood. In this part 1, Anish Singh has beautifully described about the life and the condition of Sahib-e-Alam, a poor rag picker and a squatter from Bangladesh. And in part 2, she has made us understand about the problems and the situations of a bangle maker, Mukesh, from Firozabad. Now, both of them, they work as child labor. They have to work hard in order to earn their own living. They were not able to spend their childhood, rather they lost their childhood because they were not the fortunate ones. Now they have a different attitude towards their situation. Sahib's life was like dead leaves which got carried away under the gust of the wind. He did not have any firm determination in his life, and he started working as a vendor on a tea stall. On the contrary, Mukesh shows determination in his life. He aspires to become a motor mechanic, for which he is even ready to walk long distance. So, friends, always remember this thing in your life. If you are born poor, the fault is not yours. But if you die poor, the fault lies in you. There is nothing which is impossible for a willing heart. So once you resolve, you will definitely be able to score and achieve anything and everything in your life that you aspire for. So this is the sum and the substance of chapter 2, Lost Spring, the Stories of Stolen Childhood. Now let us move to chapter number 3, Deep Water by William O. Douglas. Now William Douglas, he was very lean and skinny in his childhood, and he was tossed into a pool by a big bully who was physically well built and strong. Now this incident made William Douglas had a narrow escape, but He might be physically weak but mentally strong, and on the basis of his firm determination, he overcame his biggest fear, that is the fear of water. So the chapter leaves before us a very beautiful message. The real strength of a person lies not in his physique but in his firm determination. So friends, there isn't anything that you cannot achieve in your life once you resolve to get it. So it hardly matters whether you are physically strong or lean. The real strength of yours, it lies in your determination, in your thinking. Thus, think big and think good for yourself, and on the basis of determination, reach the pinnacle of success in your life. The Rat Trap by Selma Lagerlof. Friends, in life you will come across many temptations. If you learn to resist these temptations, you will surely escape yourself from falling as a prey to the world's rat trap. The chapter is basically focused on this particular fact. No man is born good or bad. It is the circumstances that make or mar a person. But the essential goodness in a person, it never dies. It can be awakened through kindness, sympathy, love, care, affection, and trust. So, first of all, you must learn to resist temptations, because you are surely liable to fall into the world's rat trap sooner or later if you fail to resist temptations. And secondly, if you come across anyone who has already fallen into this world's rat trap, remember, with essential goodness, you can once again turn or transform that bad person into a good one once again. So, develop yourself and your character so strong that you are able to resist any kind of temptation in your life. Indigo by Louis Fisher is perhaps considered to be the best biography ever written on the life of Mahatma Gandhi. This incident proved to be a turning point in the life of Mahatma Gandhi, as he realized that the power of people, truth, non-violence, non-cooperation, and civil disobedience, it can be used as a weapon to drive the British out of our country. Now, after successfully solving the problem of indigo sharecropping from Champaran, Bihar, he adopted this thing as a style and played an important role in making India win her freedom from the cruel clutch of the British. Now, successful people, they do not do different things. They do things in a different manner. What made Gandhiji successful in his life? Because things that they are considered to be a tremendous and a tedious task by ordinary people, he considered it to be pretty ordinary thing. When people, they ask him about his success, about indigo sharecropping, his response was so simple that he didn't do anything special. Rather, it was very simple. They asked him to leave and he said no. The reason behind this was, now we must never give in or yield before wrong kind of instructions and decision. You must have the audacity and the guts to call a spade a spade. You must have the strength to raise your voice if you see anything which is going wrong around you or in the society. If we allow these wrong kind of things or systems settle upon us, then we become a slave to it. Gandhiji never allowed these Britishers to settle over him. In fact, he made other people realize their mistake, and this actually helped him in his life and career, as well as it also helped our country in gaining her freedom from the cruel clutch of the British. So take a lesson from the life of these successful people, and you too can trail onto the footprints to the path of success. The next lesson is Poets and Pancakes by Ashok Mitran. Now, Ashok Mitran used to work in Gemini Studios. His job was considered insignificant by almost everyone working there, even the boss, Mr. S.S. Vasan. But Ashok Mitran was one of the most informed and learned person working there at the Gemini Studios. His job was just to tear news and articles from the newspaper and keep a record of it so that these subject matters they can be used as a subject matter for script writing for making films and movies. Now, in this book, he described his days spent at Gemini Studios and with his boss, Mr. Vasan. What actually resulted into the failure of the Gemini Studios over the period of time? Gemini Studios had the best of the workers, but despite having the best of the resources, the studios failed. Why? Because they failed to manage their resources well. Who all were given the opportunity to make a movie? Simply people like Subbu, those who are of the higher caste or resemble the demeanor of a sycophant, or the lawyer who always tried to be in the good books of the boss. On the contrary, boss failed to identify such kind of people. One who is really talented. Simply in life, if you fail to manage your resources well, your organization will go to the dogs. So, right person for the right job, fair remuneration, fair recognition to every employee for his valuable contribution for the organization, and not on the basis of psychopathy or on the basis of the caste system. If we also fall under these category and we start assessing our employees on such basis, our organization will also have to face serious repercussions in the long run. Therefore, learn to manage your resources well. Never become a tool in the hand of the crafty people, so that people like MRA or Stephen Spender, they come here, someone came and supported communism and the other came and opposed communism, and we did not even come to know about it. We are supposed to show some presence of mind. We are supposed to be practical, rational, thoughtful, to look about any such kind of things that might trap us in our life. So I hope you must have understood what NCERT wants us to understand from this chapter, the interview. The Poets and Pancakes. Learn to manage your resources well. So now let us move on to the next chapter, the interview. Now, interviews, they don't have very long history, about 130 years old history. The first written record of interview which is available. But in this short span of time, interviews, they have now become a commonplace of journalism. Whatever we know about people, our contemporaries, it is just because of their interview we have heard in our life, we have read in our life, or we have seen it on TV or other social media. But what makes these interviews successful? Now it depends upon two things. First, the quality of the interviewer, how beautiful questions he can put up before a person. And secondly, it depends upon how beautifully or how much interest a person takes in answering these. So interviews, they are important in knowing about our contemporaries. And another thing that we come to know from this chapter is what makes Umberto Eco to be so successful. He actually utilized every single second available in his life. That made him versatile. where people think, ordinary people, they think that he was doing different things. In fact, he thought that he was not doing anything different, because whatever he used to write, he used to propagate only the same concept of non-violence and peace. Secondly, we say that if you pursue your passion as a profession, success follows you. He adopted his natural style of writing narratives because this thing was present in him right from the beginning, and later once he came to know about his caliber, his talent, he adopted it as a conscious approach. Therefore, you must also learn to make good use of time, identify your potentials, and try to pursue your passions as a profession, and you too will be successful in your life and career ahead. Going Places by A.R. Burton. Now, what is the meaning of going places? The wandering thoughts or the feeble mindset. Adolescents or teenagers, they have high hopes and ambitions, but they lack determination, or they don't have any concrete action plan to get to their goals. That is why we say it is good to dream, but daydreaming leads to downfall. Now Sophie, she turned out to be only a dreamer. Now her habit of idol worship, daydreaming, and fantasizing. Now her habit of telling concocted stories or telling lies in order to gain or seek attention of the people, it actually made her fall into a bigger trouble. Thus, if you also adopt fake means or unfair means to get success or attention, and later if people they come to know that it was all a lie, you will lose your credibility. Nobody will ever trust you in your life. Therefore, you must learn to behave sensibly in the society. Rome was not built in a day. It will take you some time to get to your goals and become successful in your life. But do not use such fake means. Do not make yourself a fantasizer or only a daydreamer. So here we are through with all the literature stories which were there in Flamingo. Each story has got a specific color or a fragrance or a flavor. If you incorporate all these values in yourself, in your personality, you will definitely emerge out as a wonderful human being. Now let us move on to the other book, Vistas. The Third Level by Jack Finney is a science fiction which exactly describes that earlier the life might not have technological aspects and comforts, but life was very peaceful. Modern day world, which is full of cutthroat competition, it has made our life busy, monotonous, hectic, and full of stress, which has drained joy out of our life. The mental health of people, it has deteriorated considerably over the period of time. Therefore, we must learn to strike a balance between our work life and our personal life. How much exactly material things we want in our life? Only that amount which can actually help you sustain and to attain minimum comfort level in your life. This much is more than sufficient for us. So don't overstress yourself. Don't make your life busy and hectic. Don't make yourself work like a machine only minting money. So the chapter, it actually will help you to live a happy and a contented life. Now let us move on to the next chapter. The Tiger King by Kalki. Friends, you must be aware of Kalki, the 10th incarnation of Vishnu, yet to take place. It is said that Kalki will end the Kali Yuga. But here, Kalki is not the 10th incarnation of Vishnu, but the name of the writer. But he made his name prove to be worthy. By means of this chapter, the Tiger King, he has also tried to do away with many kind of prevailing social evils in the society. This is a sarcastic chapter in which Kalki has made a comment on various kind of social evils. The first and the foremost thing is a king ought to be responsible towards his subject, and he must rule by decree and not as per his whims and fancy. The resources of the country are to be used for the welfare of the subject and not with the purpose of satisfying your vanity. Now the chapter, it also has got sarcastic comments on other such evils, that every English thing is considered as superior, while every other thing, the local thing, whether it is related to material things or culture, is considered as inferior. Now minions, or simply the subordinates, they resemble the demeanor of sycophants. They never let the authority see the picture in its true color. So, if you are a boss in any firm, in any office, or even in your own organization, learn to rule by decree and learn to work for the welfare of the common people, and do not work according to superstitions and your whims and fancy. So, the chapter is worth reading. It will help you to refine your personality. Journey to the End of the Earth by Tishani Doshi is another beautiful chapter, carrying another entirely different flavor and fragrance. We think a lot about our life, career and material things. But from where do we extract all these things? From Mother Earth. The environment of Earth is getting deteriorated with every passing day. Now, the title itself has got two meanings: journey to the end of the earth. And here it refers to disaster, as well as and it also refers to the poles. Tishani Doshi went up to Antarctica. That's why she has mentioned it as journey to the end of the earth. Now, Jock Green, a Canadian tour operator, earlier he used to take celebrities to Antarctica. Now tourism was the source of his earning. He made a change in his business strategy and policy. He started taking high school students to Antarctica, because these students, they are young. When they see the threat of the global warming right with their eyes, they come with a determination in their heart that they have to definitely do something in order to conserve and preserve the environment of the earth. Tishani Doshi, she herself composed this chapter, which has been incorporated in the CBSE curriculum. Lakhs of students, they read this chapter every year, and the few wiser ones, they become vigilant and sensitive towards the deteriorating environment of the earth. They not only just cram this with the purpose of gaining more marks, rather they become the saviors of the earth. They start preserving and conserving this greenery, because without the existence of all these things, our existence will also be at stake. Therefore, we must be sensible and responsible towards environment and nature. Now, this is the purpose of incorporating this chapter in the syllabus. I hope you will become a responsible trustee of this earth. The Enemy by Pearl S. Buck make us understand so many things. The first and the foremost is being human is more important than just being a human being. मनुष्य होने से कुछ नहीं होता, मानवता का होना बेहद जरूरी है. The chapter also makes us understand so many things from the Japanese culture. These people remain dedicated towards their profession, towards their country, towards their employer. Whatever they do it in the best possible manner, and they do it right. If we people also learn these things, definitely it will make our country the best in the world. Anything which is good, be it from any other country or any other culture, we must never be hesitant to learn. Therefore, make yourself so loyal and so dedicated towards your country, towards your profession, and towards your employer, like the character of Dr. Sadao. And we too can expect all goodness and good things to take place in our country and in our life. On the Face of It by Suzanne Hill, it highlights that how these physically impaired people are to be treated. They are also normal human beings. Their requirements might be slightly different from other human beings, but they too are humans. They also have their feelings. They also have their emotions. Sometimes our outlook towards these physically challenged people, it actually gives them a lot more trouble than their physical suffering or deformity. But at the same time, this chapter, on the face of it, makes us understand the fact of that acceptance of anything is very important. There is no use crying over the spilt milk. Mr. Lamb accepted himself as a crippled man, and he did not just stop there. He learned to do so many things with his one artificial leg. On the contrary, Derry was not yet able to accept that he has an half acid burnt ugly looking face, which has made him withdrawn and defiant. Had he not met Mr. Lamb, he would have ruined his life completely. But Mr. Lamb gently flipped the brighter side of the coin before his eyes and made Derry change his face. So therefore, we must also learn to accept certain things, the unwanted or the negative things that are the part and the parcel of life. We must never make ourselves demoralized or depressed with any such kind of situation in our life. Life, we say that the show of life must go on. We must learn to accept and learn to move ahead. On the face, you might not be able to realize people, identify people, how they are, what they are. Lamb appeared to be very friendly, but he turned out to be lonely and secluded kind of a person. Derry, who appeared to be withdrawn and defiant, turns out to be very confident. And his parents, they always pretended that Derry was normal and they are not worried about him. But sometimes when they think that Derry is not at home, when they discuss with each other that what will happen to him after their death, how is he going to spend his life. So the people sometimes might not turn out to be the same as they are. So learn to accept and learn to identify people rather than judging a book by its cover. We must learn to meet people, talk to people, then only we get to know the reality about such people. Last but not the least, Memories of Childhood by Zitkalasa and Bama. Zitkalasa was a Red Indian, a Native American while Bama was a Tamil Dalit Indian writer. The places are different, but their problems were the same. Both were from the marginalized community, both were females, and they had to undergo extreme hardships and indignities in their early childhood. But at the same time, both were fortunate enough to receive good education, and on the basis of this good education, they were successful in carving a position for themselves, a respectable position for themselves in the society. Therefore, you must also remember the importance of education. Now, it will help you to get everything in your life that you aspire for. On the basis of good education, you can do away with any kind of inequality that you have received from the birth or that exist in the society. Education is an armor for life. It protects you from every impending danger and disaster. Therefore, in this last lesson in the curriculum, NCERT and CBSE wants you people to understand and realize the importance of education, the role of education in making you successful and respectable. I hope this much will definitely help you people a lot in scoring much better marks in the board examination, and above all to become a wonderful and valuable human being and a citizen for the country, for the society, and for the world. These should be your larger objectives of life, not just to become a successful person in your career, but also a valuable human being for the society, for the country, and for the world. I wish you all the best, not just for these exams, but for all your future endeavors. Thank you everyone for lending me your ears. Wish you all the best.